All right. Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. Great to see you here. My name is Mike La Charite. I'm a gold consultant on Team Sky with Evolution, and really excited to bring this topic to you today. We are going to be talking about travel credit cards, pros, cons, why you should have them, how they can impact your business and your personal travels. This is something that I have been passionate about for a number of years. I've been taking advantage of for at least 6 or 8 years. And we're gonna go through a lot of different things today. So buckle up. There's about 36 slides to get through because I wanted to present you guys with a lot of diverse information. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to monitor the chat as we go. So feel free to enter questions during the presentation, and if not, then we will definitely have time for Q&A at the end. Okay, so. First thing I wanted to start off with is what is a travel credit card? And while we're getting started, I would love to hear in the chat if you guys have experience with this at all. If you have any cards that give travel rewards that you really like, I'd love to see that in the chat, just because then we can maybe craft this a little bit towards our audience here. But in general, a travel credit card is a card that earns rewards on everyday purchases that can be used towards travel expenses. So things like airline tickets, lodging, activities, all of those. The benefits vary widely based on the type of cards. So we're going to go through different types of cards and then some of the perks that are offered with actual various brands. Okay. So really, there's two main types of travel cards. Okay. The first type is a co-branded card. Generally, these are branded with a particular travel supplier, and they offer earnings exclusively for the company that they are branded for. Okay. Generally, with these, I find that you get better redemptions and more points overall because they are co-branded. But of course, because of the co-branding, you can use them in fewer places. Okay. They're less flexible than some of the other cards. So on the other side, we have general travel cards. And these are ones that offer earnings that can either be applied directly to your credit card statements or as cash back, or they can be redeemed online with a variety of suppliers. So they're more flexible, but generally you don't earn as much, or you don't have the same redemptions that you would if it was a co-branded card. Okay, so those are the two types of cards we're going to look at. And of course, the subset within those would be personal cards and business cards, which we're going to talk about as well. Okay. So, what are some types of earnings and benefits you can get with a travel card? So, biggest thing, of course, is points. So, airline miles, hotel points, those kind of things that can all be redeemed for travel. Um, Most of the cards are going to offer some sort of welcome bonus generally as a sign-up incentive. So, that will be extra miles. Uh, you can earn elite status with different suppliers with the cards. Priority boarding and free checked bags with the airlines, a lot of different hotel benefits such as early check-in, late checkout, free breakfast, premium Wi-Fi, those kind of things. Lounge access could be a big one. So at the airports, rental car insurance, that's another really great benefit of a lot of cards. So we'll talk about that in a little more detail. Credits for global entry and TSA pre-check can be offered in a lot of these. And of course, there's a lot more. This is just a summary of some of the top earnings and benefits you guys will see. Okay. So, what are some of the main considerations we need to think about when we're trying to figure out which card is going to suit us the best? Okay. Number one, how often do you travel? That's super important because that may make a difference on whether you go with a branded card or you go like a co-branded card or a general card. Also, in that vein, what suppliers do you travel with? Are you exclusive? I always recommend exclusivity if you can. So I will occasionally take a flight on Southwest or something else if I have to. But when I fly, I am exclusively with American Airlines outside of those special circumstances. Same deal with hotels. I am with Hyatt when I can. I've had elite status with them for 5 or 6 years now. Been super, super happy with that. And, it's just my brand of choice. But unfortunately, Hyatt's not everywhere. So I do also have some lower status with Hilton. Occasionally, I'll stay in a Marriott or an IHG or something else. But I try really hard to be exclusive. And I'm going to go through, as you look at the benefits for the different cards, you're going to see why that's important. Annual fee is the big consideration on what type of cards you get. We'll go into that. Where do you want to travel? Certain suppliers have a lot more access in certain places, so that can be a big difference. Okay. Credit score can be important. Most of the cards we're going to talk about today are going to be for like good to excellent credit. So things from like 600 or 650 to 750 to 800, something around there. But there are travel cards out there if you're still trying to build your credit, or you need some, we all have things that happen. And if you got into trouble and your credit suffered, there are cards that can help you build that back. Okay. So that's an important factor. For airline cards, which airports do you frequent the most? That's certainly important because if you're flying American Airlines and you always fly out of Cleveland, there's not a lounge in Cleveland, right? So that may not be a benefit that you will take advantage of all the time. Now, if you're flying every day to Dallas or Los Angeles or one of these other airports, those benefits can be important. And on that note, like what benefits will you use the most? So as we go through these different cards and some of the benefits, think about your own travel. Think about the travel that you're doing now and also what you want to do, where you want to get. And we will, you'll be able to kind of see, oh yeah, that one's really important to me. That one's really important to me. All of that can help influence which card that you get. So, some tips to maximize benefits. Charge as many everyday purchases as possible to the cards. I use my travel cards exclusively for all of my expenses. And if I have the choice without paying fees, everything goes on the card and I pay it off every month. So, um, if I have the choice of putting it on a credit card or a debit from my bank, in general, I'm putting it on the card because those points rack up really fast. And the more you charge with a lot of these cards, as you'll see, there are incentives to spend, and sometimes you'll get more qualifying points towards elite status, so those sort of things. If you travel frequently, don't be scared of premium cards and high annual fees. I'm going to show you some that have some fees of $500 and $600, and I know that sounds like a lot, but it's annual, and when you quantify that against the bonuses and the points that you get, it's a no-brainer, right? So don't automatically be freaked out because there's a high fee. Double the benefits with personal and business cards. This is what I do. So, that's a great thing to kind of look at and make sure you know the benefits of your card and use them. I cannot tell you how many people I know that have a great card that, I run into and they're like, oh, yeah, I don't know. I have this travel card, but I don't know what it does. I mean, guys, if it's got benefits, you want to use them. That's what makes it worth it, right? So, um, we are going to go through a whole bunch of cards right now. Different categories. I'm going to kind of, I want you guys to see side by side what some of the various suppliers offer. So this is not an all-inclusive list. There are so many different cards out there. All right. So don't take this as gospel, like these are the only ones you can apply for. But I wanted to give you as wide a view as possible of what's out there and what's available. Okay. Also, I will talk about this at the end, but a great resource for this information. It's a website called The Points Guy. You've probably come across them before. They are the experts on this kind of thing. I did a lot of my research, started on their website, and yeah, they are a great resource. So again, I'll put that in the chat, and you'll see it on a slide later. The Points Guy, if you Google them, great resource for this. Okay. So we're going to start out with some general travel cards. These are ones that are not co-branded. These are just, mainstream cards that you guys can have access to. And the first one, this is my favorite of this category, okay? And it's the Chase Sapphire Preferred card. So through Chase, huge bank. One caveat to know with Chase, you can only apply for 4 credit cards with Chase within a 24-month period. Okay, so if you already have a couple Chase cards personally, or you've done some other things with them, you want to take that into account because you will get automatically declined if you've already hit that threshold. Okay, but the Chase Sapphire Preferred has a $95 annual fee, really good earning rates, 5 miles per dollar on travel booked through Chase Ultimate Rewards and Lyft. Okay, so when you use the card, and keep in mind, this is when you use the card on these suppliers, that's when you get the points, right? So 3 miles per dollar on any dining, select streaming services, which we all do now, online grocery purchases, 2 miles per dollar on any other travel purchases other than what was mentioned above. And then everything else, you get 1 mile per dollar. So this is why I say I use this for everything, because if I'm going out and, buying something at Best Buy, um, why not get points back for it, right? Like it's just a no-brainer. Their intro offer is 60,000 bonus miles after spending $4,000 in the first 3 months. Okay, so you spend that 4 grand, you get 60,000 miles added to your account. Keep in mind, these offers do change. So if you're watching this training later, it may be a different offer right now. But they always have something going on. What I like about this card too is the reward redemption is super versatile. Okay. Chase Ultimate Rewards is a great supplier. If you redeem there, they add 24%, 25% extra value, or you can transfer these to 14 travel partners at a 1-to-1 rate. So when I've used this card, I transfer all my points to Hyatt. It's a 1-to-1 rate. But if I were to book through Chase Ultimate Rewards with my points, you'd actually get an extra 25% of redemption. That's pretty handy. It also includes premium travel protection, cancellation insurance, primary rental car coverage. That is a really cool benefit that not a lot of these lower tier cards offer. So that is a really good selling point on this card. And what that means is when you go and rent a car, they always offer you their collision and liability coverage, right? So if you decline it and you put the car on this card, their insurance covers you. Now there's two types. There's primary and secondary. Primary means it goes straight to them. Like the Chase Sapphire is who you make the claim with. Their insurance company pays it out. If it's secondary, they go to your personal insurance first, and then they'll go bill the credit card company for whatever your personal insurance didn't pay. Okay, does that make sense? So that's primary versus secondary, and it's a very important distinction when you're looking at the cards with that type of coverage. But I've actually had to use that before. I picked up a car a couple years ago in Baltimore at night. I didn't notice there was a giant ding on the bumper, and I went back the next day to return it because I only had it for the day. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, you've damaged this car." They tried to charge me $800 for that repair. My credit card paid it off. Okay, took care of it. Did all I had to do was file a claim with credit card and didn't have to look at it again. So great benefit. They also $50 annual hotel credit. So they will put a statement credit for $50 towards a hotel. And all of these cards pretty much are going to have no foreign transaction fees, meaning if you use the card in other countries, you're not going to get any extra fees for that. Okay, Leah, so what I don't get with these general cards, miles, any airline. So yeah, all of the general cards generally have their own booking platform. So for Chase, it's Chase Ultimate Rewards. It functions like an Expedia, okay, like an online travel agency. So you can go into their platform, you can book your airfare and your hotels and use the points through their platform. Otherwise, and that's where I was saying you would get that extra 25% extra value. Otherwise, you can transfer the points out to 14 travel partners with Chase. Most of them will let you transfer them to different partners. But they're not going to have all of them, right? So Chase does not partner with every airline. I could transfer it to I think British Airways and there's a couple others, but I can't transfer to American Airlines with this card. But I can transfer it to Hyatt. So it really just depends on the card and what travel partners they have as far as transferring those points. But if you're booking through their platform, you have access to pretty much everything. Okay. Does that answer your question?
Blue Care Choices, Latanya speaking.
Say that one more time. Sorry, I didn't hear that. Can you repeat that?
I think she was answering a call
Oh, okay.
and didn't realize she was unmuted.
Got it. I didn't hear what she said, so thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so that's the Chase Sapphire Preferred. We're also in a minute going to talk about the Reserve, which is a higher end card that they offer. So this is another great one, Capital One Venture Rewards. Same annual fee, $95. You can see the earning fees are similar. They keep it more simple. You get 5 miles per dollar on hotels and rental cars booked through Capital One Travel. Everything else is 2 miles per dollar. So less tiers there that you have to worry about. Pretty good offer, 75,000 miles right now after spending 4,000 in the first 3 months. Same deal. They have a very versatile reward system that you can redeem towards hotel or airline purchases. They will actually give you a statement credit if you do that, or you can transfer them out to travel partners as well. They also, Capital One has this lifestyle collection they've put together, and these are hotels they've selected that they really like and they think are unique experiences for their clients. So if you use your card at any of their lifestyle collection hotels, you get these things like free Wi-Fi, early check-in, late checkout, $50 resort credit, room upgrades. So there's some extra benefits. They also partner with Hertz. So if you have this card, you automatically get 5-star status with Hertz. They will also give you a $100 credit for global entry or TSA pre-check every 4 or 5 years. So you pay and then they give you a statement credit for it. And again, no foreign transaction fees here. So, Tammy, yeah, you need to read the fine print just to make sure that their um, travel insurance is as robust as what you might get through a Tinleg or Allianz or something. But depending on what their policy says, yes, it may substitute for one of those other ones. And in a lot of cases, it does. So yeah, again, very simple. A lot of these function the same way, but that's how Capital One Venture Rewards works. Okay. Then there's the Amex Gold. You'll notice this one's a little higher fee. It's $250. Um, they have some pretty interesting earnings. So their highest earnings are actually on restaurants and groceries, not on travel. But 4 miles per dollar on any food that you buy is pretty darn awesome. 3 miles per dollar on airline tickets direct with the airline or bought on amextravel.com. And then everything else gets 1 mile per dollar. Their intro offer is 60,000 miles. You have to spend a little more, 6,000, but it's broken up over the first 6 months. They will give you a $10 a month dining credit and $10 a month off any Uber that you spend. They also have a hotel collection, so they will give you a $100 experience credit to use during your stay when you book with their hotel collection stay. They have some of the best travel protection on these Amex cards. So baggage insurance, secondary rental coverage. So it's not primary here, but it still does offer as secondary. 24/7 global assist hotline for emergency assistance. So if your car breaks down, something goes wrong on your trip, they have a whole concierge team that will help. And again, they have their own amextravel.com, very flexible redemptions there, similar to the other ones. It's an online travel agency. So you can book just about anything there. Okay. So big perks to this card are a little bit more like on the travel protection with the baggage insurance and that concierge hotline. Um, and I actually, for the fee, I like the Chase Sapphire Preferred a lot better. But as we get into some of the other ones, you're going to see their higher fee cards are pretty awesome. One of the other things about Amex that um, some of their cards offer, for example, I have the Hilton Amex card. They have if their card does not include rental car coverage, they actually have something you can sign up for where they will charge you $25 per rental, and that provides you with the rental coverage primary for the rental. So it's not if that rental car coverage like here is not a perk of the card, they have that side of things where again it's $25 per rental, and you get full primary rental car coverage. So that's actually what I do. I have I have a Hilton Amex card, and it provides that. So that's how I get my rental car insurance on every time. So now we're going to talk about some premium general travel cards. So these are ones with a higher fee but more benefits. Okay. So Chase Sapphire Reserve, I mentioned earlier, they had a higher tier. So as opposed to the 95 earlier, this is $550. So again, it sounds high, but wait for it. Okay. You get 10 miles per dollar on hotels and car rentals booked through Chase and Lyft. You get 5 miles per dollar on airline tickets booked through Chase. you get 3 miles per dollar on all of your dining. And if you book that dining through Chase Dining, which could be restaurants in your local area, they will give you 10 miles per dollar. 3 miles per dollar on any other travel purchases. So if you're doing Airbnb or something like that, and 1 mile per dollar on all other purchases. Same offer, 60,000 miles after spending 4,000 in the first 3 months. But this card includes Priority Pass lounge access. This is a really versatile lounge access. They have things at most airports, and sometimes it might just be a restaurant. Sometimes it's an actual lounge there. But in general, it will give you a place to go and just relax at the airport when you're there on a layover. Sometimes there's free or discounted food involved with it, but Priority Pass is really good. I used to have this card before I went, specific with American, and I had great redemptions with it. So, and again, they have uh, for the rewards, whereas the other card you would get 25% extra value if you bought through Chase Rewards. This card gives you 50% extra value. Okay, so the points are worth more versus compared to the travel that you're getting. Right. They also have the same premium travel protection as the other with the primary rental car coverage. They do include that $100 credit for global entry or TSA pre-check, and they will give you a $300 annual travel credit. So this is where I was saying you have to look at how much you travel, right? Because if you're in the airports all the time, that lounge access is going to be really valuable. If you bought that on your own, it's probably, I didn't look that up for Priority Pass, but it's around $600, I think, a year. Might be a little bit less, but so add that 600 to the $100 global entry credit and a $300 annual travel credit, plus all the points you get. You've already taken up that annual fee, right? So this is a really valuable card, and I think as far as the general cards go, this is probably my favorite one. Just because of the redemptions and the lounge access. Really, really useful. Okay, this one's really good too. This is Amex Platinum card. Little higher fee, $6.95. Their lounges, they have Amex Platinum lounges all over the place, and they're some of the nicest lounges out there. So that is a huge part of the value of this card. Um, Again, they keep their earnings really simple, 5 miles per dollar on flights and hotels booked through Amex Travel, and 1 mile per dollar on all other purchases. They also have this wide intro offer 80,000 to 125,000 miles, and you have to spend 8,000, but you have 6 months to do it, which is pretty awesome. Leah asks, are there any ways to get rid of any of these annual fees? Unfortunately, there's not. They are required. Now, you'll see as some of the cards that we're going to go through in a minute will waive it for the first year, but unfortunately, there's no like minimum spend or anything that will get rid of the annual fees that I know of. And I haven't used the Amex Platinum, but as far as I know on any of these cards, they won't like waive it if you get X amount of points or anything like that. So unfortunately, it's just the cost of doing business. But if you're using it for your business, it's a write-off too. So all of these are just financial fees that go into your cost of doing business. Um, Against that 695, they also will give you a $200 hotel credit every year, a $2 airline credit every year, 200 towards Uber, and 189 that pays for your Clear membership, which if you have not used Clear before, if it's at your local airport, it is amazing. You don't have to take out your ID. You just go and scan your fingerprint or your eyes, and they take you right to the front of the TSA line. So um, then it gives you $240 worth of digital entertainment credit. If you want to go to the gym, obviously that is not one of my favorite things to do. $300 Equinox credit, $155 towards Walmart Plus, and 100 shop sacks with Platinum. So all of that adds up to over $1,000 of annual value that you get if you shop at those places. So that right there takes care of the fee. They, like I said, they have awesome lounges around. It includes primary rental car coverage, and they have the same flexible redemptions on AmexTravel.com. Okay, so another great option here is a premium card if you like Amex. It definitely a good option. So now I'm going to flip over to co-branded travel cards, and I want to show you kind of the difference in redemptions here. Okay, so this is what I do. I have cards with American Airlines. I have cards with Hyatt. Uh, I have cards with Alaska Airlines that I got, and I've played this game for a lot of years, and a lot of times it's looking at, okay, where am I traveling? If I was going to Alaska a couple of years ago. If I got the Alaska card, I got 60,000 miles if I put, enough money on it. So I grabbed that card. I put all of my transactions on it for the next 3 months just to get that fee paid for, and I paid for my nonstop airfare to and from Anchorage with the points I got on that card. So, sometimes it's just, you don't want to do it too often where you're affecting your credit score, but it's totally useful to sometimes play the game depending on where you're traveling and get an extra card just for that reason to get that bonus. So with American Airlines, this is the card I started out with, the Advantage Platinum. This is where they waive the fee. So no fee for the first year, then it's $99. You get 2 miles per dollar on American Airlines purchases and all restaurants and gas stations, and then 1 mile per dollar on everything else. Here's what I love about American Airlines. A couple years ago, they changed their earning process. So if you know anything about airline elite status, in general, what it used to be is you have to have a minimum spend. You have to get X amount of dollars that you would spend. Then, in addition to that, you either have to have X amount of miles that you accumulate as you fly or X amount of segments. And for basic status, it was usually like 30 segments, which means a one-way flight or, a point A to point B. So if I fly to DC, but I connect somewhere like in Dallas and I'm flying LA to Dallas, Dallas to DC, that's 2 segments. Okay, that's how they count it. That's how most of the airlines work. That's how American used to work. They've converted everything now into loyalty points. So for every dollar that you spend, you get 1 loyalty point. For miles, you get loyalty points. You accumulate these things for all sorts of different things. And based on how many loyalty points you accumulate, that's how the status is decided. So what it did was it made it a lot easier for those of us that, I mean, I fly a lot, but I don't fly like, a lot of these crazies that are every weekend, they're getting out there. And that's how it used to be to get executive platinum. I've been executive platinum now for 2.5 years because of my credit card spend, combined with the flights that I do. So it made it a lot easier for those of us that spend a lot of money and maybe don't travel as much to still get elite status and reap those benefits, which is a whole nother conversation. Um, but that's one of the things I really, really like about these cards. Okay. Their intro offer is pretty awesome, 50,000 miles, and you only have to spend 2,500 in 3 months. That's pretty doable. If you add your groceries and restaurants and all that to it for a couple of months, no problem there. They give you your first checked bag free for the card owner and 4 companions on the same reservation. You get priority boarding in group 4. You get a discount on in-flight food and beverage, and every year, as long as you hit a minimum spend, which I think is 10,000 with this card in the year, you get a $125 flight discount certificate that you can apply to another booking. Okay. All of that with the miles that you are accruing. This is how I pay for my airfare on almost every personal trip that I do. When I was just in Italy for that fam trip, they didn't cover the airfare. I got business class both ways with my American Airlines status and card. So this is why I like the co-branded cards because the earnings tend to go a little bit faster. You tend to get a little bit more on their products when you're buying specifically their stuff, and it just accumulates really quickly. Okay, so that's this one. We're also going to talk about the executive card in a minute, which is their premium card. Delta, similar. They have the gold American Express card. And I should mention with all of these, there are tiers. So American Airlines has the platinum, but they also have a couple lower end cards that are for travel. And they also have a whole line of aviator cards. Delta has the basic card, the gold, the platinum. So I just picked one because I didn't want to keep you guys on here for 5 hours going through every single option. But there are other options you can look at with any of these co-branded cards. So again, they waive the annual fee first year, $150. Same deal as American, 2 miles per dollar on Delta charges, and then restaurants and groceries, 1 mile per dollar on everything else. They have an even better offer right now, 70,000 miles after you spend 3K, and you get 6 months to do that, which is pretty awesome. You get a 15% discount on award flight redemption. So that means if you don't have this card and you go to get an award flight with your miles, right? And you're going to spend, say, 10,000 points on that card, you're going to get 15% less points that you have to spend on that. Okay. So that would be what? 1,500 points off. So you would be 8,500 that you would pay in terms of points versus somebody who didn't have the card and would pay 10,000. Okay. They give you the first check bag free for the card holder and 8 passengers on the same reservation. Also priority boarding, also a discount on in-flight purchases, and they also give you a $200 annual flight credit with minimum spend. Okay, so card's a little more expensive, you get a bigger flight credit, it offsets it. So if you fly with Delta, this is your card, or one of their branded ones. Okay, United, same deal. The Explorer Mileage Plus card, $95 annual fee waived for the first year. They give you 5 miles per dollar on United flight fare. That does not include the taxes and fees, but it's the fare amount. Plus 2 miles per dollar on the balance, which would be the taxes and fees. Then they give you 4 miles per dollar on hotels booked through United Hotels, 2 miles per dollar restaurants and hotels, and 1 mile per dollar on everything else. 60,000 mile bonus after you spend 3,000 in 3 months. They will give you up to $1,000 premier qualifying points. I don't know why I put the dollar sign there, but it's 1,000 premier qualifying points towards your elite status. So that's where I was saying where American just does the loyalty points, they have different categories here that they do, but they do give you points to get towards that. They include trip protection, which the other two do not. So baggage, they have primary rental car coverage, cancellation, delay insurance, all of those things. Another discount on in-flight purchases, first check bag free for the cardholder and only one companion. They also give you 2 passes per year for the United Club, and they give you a global entry and TSA pre-check credit. Okay, so if you're with United Airlines, this is the option that you guys have. They do have a couple other ones as well, but they're all fairly similar with just a few little differentiating factors. So those are airlines. Oh yeah, Southwest as well. So they do not waive the first year, but it's $99 for the Southwest fee. And I really like their offer here. They are giving you a companion pass. If you don't know what that is, anytime you're on a flight, you can take a companion who you have to select ahead of time. You can change it periodically, but you have to designate your companion ahead of time. So for me, at first it was my son because we were flying a lot, and then changed that over to my wife when it was time for us to fly. But it means when you book your ticket, you can add them for $99 wherever you're going. So it's a great deal. And they will give that to you for the next year plus 30,000 bonus miles if you spend 4,000 in the first 3 months. Same kind of breakdowns, 3 miles per dollar on Southwest purchases, 2 miles per dollar on their partner hotels and rental cars, local transit, ride share, Lyft and Uber, internet cable phone service, and select streaming services. They will also give you 6,000 bonus points on your annual anniversary of having the card. So that's just a free, here's 6,000 points. Each year, they will give you up to 10,000 companion pass qualifying points, so you can qualify it for longer, plus qualifying points towards your A-list status. 2 annual early bird check-in, which is $25 per flight. So it's about a $50 value. And they give you a discount off your in-flight purchases as well. Okay, so options for everybody, right? Even the hotels, they have their options. So this is the one I mentioned to you a little bit earlier. The Hilton Honors Card is $150 annual fee. You get 12 miles per dollar on Hilton purchases, which is a lot. Keep in mind, Hilton redemptions are a lot higher than others. Like where I might get a hotel with Hyatt for 5,000 points at a baseline, I'm going to pay 30,000 points for Hilton. So the equation's a little bit different. That's why this number is so high. You get 6 miles per dollar on restaurants, groceries, and fuel, which is pretty generous. 4 miles on retail purchases, 3 miles on everything else. So that's a very generous spend, depending on what you're buying. Their intro offer is awesome right now. It's 150,000 miles after spending 3,000 in the first 6 months. So at a basic hotel, that is 5 nights for free at a $30,000 or 30,000 point hotel. So that's a really generous welcome bonus right now. You also get gold status confirmed uh, at Hilton when you have the card. And if you spend a certain amount, I think it's around 20,000 in a year, they will give you diamond status. So that's pretty awesome. This is that car rental primary coverage I mentioned. So anytime I rent with this card, they just automatically add a $25 insurance fee, and that covers all of the liability and collision coverage primary. So it's a really, really good deal where you might be spending that per day if you got it through the car rental company, right? And they also have that Amex Global Assist hotline for emergency assistance. All right, sorry, I heard something crash. My dog must have just knocked something down. Okay. Marriott, it's never a dull moment, guys. Kids or pets, it doesn't matter. The Marriott Bonvoy Boundless card, similar $95 annual fee, 6 miles per dollar on Marriott, 3 miles per dollar on the first 6,000 you spend every year on gas, groceries, and dining, 1 mile per dollar on all other purchases. After you spend 5,000 in the first 3 months, they just give you 5 free nights at Marriott, so that's awesome. You also get an annual free night award and 15 elite night credits. Okay, so towards your elite status, they do give you automatic Marriott Bonvoy Silver elite status, so you're guaranteed that, which gives you free premium Wi-Fi. And their higher tier card, they have several. They have several different cards, and I'm not going to show you the details on their higher tier card here, but it actually gives you their platinum elite status, which guarantees you like a 4 p.m. late checkout and all sorts of stuff. So if you are Marriott people, this is a great card, and their next level ones are also really good. Okay, I have this card as well because, like I said, I stay with Hyatt. $95 annual fee, 9 miles per dollar on Hyatt stays. That is massive when you think about their redemptions. I mean, even their all-inclusive resorts are usually about 30,000 points or less. So this card is amazing if you stay at Hyatt because it gives you so much. I don't usually pay for hotels on vacation anymore because of this card and because of my stays there. So I get tons of points off this. And not only do they give you the points, but they give you free night awards on your anniversary and at different spending thresholds. So lots of different options here. Earnings toward upgraded elite status. Their intro offer right now 65,000 miles after spending 3,000 in 3 months. And yeah, a few other kind of, you can see their redemptions also 2 miles per dollar on dining, airlines, 1 mile per dollar on everything else. So this is, if you're a Hyatt person, great card here. Okay. So now we're going to look at some of the co-branded cards, but the premium ones. And again, most of the ones that I just showed you have options for this. I don't want to take, this is already going to be a lot of info. So this is the American Airlines card I have now, the Executive Platinum, or I'm sorry, the Executive card. $595 fee, but they give you Admirals Club membership. With your card, you get to bring 2 guests with you. And also, I added my wife as an authorized user. So she has benefits when she travels on her own. She can use the lounges, and she also gets an additional 2 guests when she's traveling with me. So when I'm flying with my wife, our 2 kids, maybe my in-laws are with us, I can get all of us into the lounge just with this card. Lounge membership at American Airlines just went up. It is almost $700 now for a year. So this is a huge perk with this card and takes up that annual fee like nothing. 4 miles per dollar on American Airlines purchases, 10 miles per dollar on hotels and cars booked through American, 1 mile per dollar on any other purchases. All the miles translated into loyalty points like we talked about earlier, and they give you loyalty point bonuses with this card. So every time you hit a threshold, they'll give you X amount of extra loyalty points. This one, you get that free check bag for your card owner and 8 companions. Priority boarding, I'm sorry, this is actually group 3 with this one. $120 annual credits for Lyft, Budget, or Avis, and Grubhub. Again, that credit off in-flight food and beverage. This one they offer global entry and TC pre-checks. So this is a fantastic card, and this is the one that I put the bulk of my spending on because the points are so valuable. Delta has their reserve as well. It's a little higher fee, $6.50. Simple redemptions, 3 miles per dollar on Delta and 1 mile per dollar on all others. A great offer right now, 100,000 miles after spending 6,000 in 6 months. They give you access to their club plus 4 guest passes, plus the Centurion lounges. So sometimes at an airport, you won't have a Delta lounge, but you'll have a Centurion lounge. So you can use that one too. They give you that 15% discount on award flight redemptions, same first check bag for cardholder and 8 passengers. You get President Circle status with Hertz. You get one of their status qualifying dollars for points for every $10 spent. Latanya, yes, I am recording this, so I will definitely share it once I download it, okay? Then on the anniversary of you getting your card, they give you a 2,500 mile bonus towards your elite status. Every year after renewing, they give you a companion certificate, which will give you a flight for, I think it's $99 with them, for somebody to fly with you on any trip. You get a $200 annual flight credit plus $120 annual Uber credit, and you get that global entry or pre-check credit. Okay, so you can see this is definitely a step up from the basic Delta card. And then this is United's Premier. So they have the Club Infinite card, $5.25 for their redemption, 5 miles per dollar on United flight fare, 2 miles per dollar. So I believe these are all the same as the other one we looked at. 80,000 miles is their bonus after you spend 5,000 in 3 months. That's a little bit harder. 5,000 in 3 months is decent, but you can definitely get to that if you start putting everything on there. You get up to 10,000 Premier qualifying points every year towards your elite status. You get their lounge membership. They include trip protection as well with primary rental car coverage, cancellation, baggage, all of that. You get 2 check bags free for the cardholder and 1 companion with this card. You get elite status with Avis and IHG hotels as well. That's a nice kind of perk benefit. And that global entry credit and a discount on in-flight purchases. Okay. So you can you guys see like the difference between these and the general cards? Like you definitely get some more value if you fly a lot with one of these companies. Those things like lounge access really make a difference. But if you're not going to take advantage of those things, maybe the general card is a better way to go. Hilton Honors also has this top tier card, 525. You get 14 miles per dollar on Hilton. You get 7 miles per dollar on flights booked directly with airlines or on AmexTravel.com. And you get 7 miles on car rentals booked directly and at restaurants in the US. 3 miles per dollar on everything else. 150,000 miles after spending 6,000 in the first 6 months. And you get complimentary diamond status at Hilton, which is an awesome buy, okay, if you stay at a lot of Hiltons. 1 free night award plus additional award with 30,000 spend, and you get a $400 annual credit at Hilton properties every year. All right. Madeline, yes, we're going to talk about that card in a minute. Absolutely. Okay, so she's bringing up the Venture One card, with Capital One, which is the 0 annual fee card. So we're going to look at that and a couple others that are 0 annual fee, and you're going to see some of the benefits, what those look like. So here's the Capital One Venture One rewards card. So versus, it's kind of confusing. The Venture card is the one we looked at before. The Venture One is this one with no annual fee. Pretty decent rates, 5 miles per dollar on hotels and cars booked through Capital One Travel, and 1.25 miles per dollar on everything else. Their intro offer is great, 20,000 miles. You only have to spend $500 in 3 months to get that. And they do have that versatile reward platform with Capital One Travel where you can book a trip with miles or use miles to get reimbursed as like a statement credit for recent travel purchases. Then they actually, through their platform, have event tickets for entertainment. So you can even use the miles towards that, which is awesome. You can transfer miles to partner airlines, and you can redeem the miles for cash or gift cards here. So if you don't want to spend an annual fee, this is a really good one to look at. Okay. Bank of America also has a 0 annual fee card. And you can see with them, it's just that straight, same as Capital One, that 1.25 mile per dollar on all purchases. They don't have the booking platforms, they don't have that second tier. 20,000 miles, but you got to spend 1,000 as opposed to 500. One of the benefits here, any airline, any hotel, you can redeem your rewards. No limit to the points you can earn, and they don't expire. And you have the flexibility to redeem your points for a statement credit to pay for travel and dining purchases, such as flights, hotel stays, vacation rentals, baggage fees, and also at restaurants, including takeout. So as opposed to having to book through their platform with the miles, you can just apply them as a statement credit. So it keeps it really simple. If you are a Bank of America Preferred Rewards member, that's where this card would really make sense for you. You get 25 to 75% more points on every purchase. Okay, so if you're with B of A, that is a great one to look at because of those additional points that you get. Is there a way to use these cards to book things for clients and make some commission? Can you explain benefits for travel agents specifically? So these benefits honestly are for your own travel. That is where I look at it. Now we get a lot of FAM requests or we win free stays, right? Like this year I did the uh gosh, what are they called? I'm blanking on the supplier, the Mexican and Dominican Republic supplier. Did their training. I got 2 free nights in Mexico. I won a free stay on a webinar with Jamaica at a new resort there. Princess, of course, when we do their training, we get the free cruise, and Cunard, same deal, right? So we get all these free stays. What I you still have to pay for things for that, right? You have to pay for airfare, you have to pay for all of those kind of things. For me, I use this primarily for airline points and for supplemental hotel stays. So I'm not going to fly all the way from LA to Jamaica for 2 days, but I will fly over there and use my points to get 3 or 4 extra nights and turn it into a week trip that didn't cost me any money and use my airline miles so my wife and I can fly there first class and not have to uh, pay any money for that, right? So I think as travel agents, these are supplementary rewards that make uh, the usage of so many of the other things that we have free. It just expands those things, right? And it makes it so we can take advantage of those without putting out a lot of the extra funds that we have to do. As far as using the card to book things for clients, I'd never recommend booking client stuff with our own card with my own card. So I think that's one of the benefits for them having these cards is you use their card, they still make points off of it. You're still getting the commission for making that booking. But I never ever recommend that a travel agent uses their own credit card to book things for a client. That's just my and I think most of us would say that it's just more opportunity for you not to get paid and get into a messy court case and liability and all of that. So yeah, Tanya says you can send them your links if they need something to help them to make payments and it earns you points for sure. So, um, but I would shy away from using your own card. Okay. I would just take the commission that you get as a travel agent, as we normally do, but keep these in your back pocket more as rewards for when you travel. Okay. That's how I look at this personally. Wells Fargo has another 0 fee card. This one's pretty good. No annual fee, 3 miles per dollar on all travel, all dining, all gas, all transit, all phone plans, and popular streaming services. So for me, I actually think this is the best earning of the free cards. 1 mile per dollar on everything else. Same intro offer as the B of A card. They also include secondary auto rental collision coverage, which the other 0 fee cards do not include. So I think that is a really nice benefit. They also have cell phone protection, so you don't have to pay for that Apple Care. If something goes wrong, their coverage will take care of that. They have travel and emergency protections and roadside assistance, all of those things. And similar to B of A, you can redeem the points for travel, gift cards, or other purchases against your statement. Okay. All right, we're almost done, guys. I know this is a lot of information I'm throwing at you. I did record this, and we'll make sure to share it. But I wanted you to have a nice wide view of these. So, in addition to all those cards we talked about before, were personal. There's also business travel cards. Okay, so I have both. I use my personal cards. I use my business cards. They all go to the same account. So if I use my American Airlines business card, still goes into my same American Airlines account. All the loyalty points I earn. Same deal on the personal side. So this is a good thing when you are trying to, I mean, we all have expenses for our business, and it's nice to be able to keep those separate and still earn the same rewards, right? So Southwest, their business card has a $199 fee. Annually, 4 miles per dollar on Southwest purchases, 3 miles per dollar on Rapid Rewards, hotel and car rental partners, 2 miles per dollar on social media and search engine advertising. How awesome is that, that you get extra points for running ads? Your internet, cable, and phone services for the business, you can do that. Local transit, rideshare, all of those things. Everything else you get 1 mile per dollar. 80,000 bonus miles is a welcome bonus when you spend 5,000 in 3 months. Then 9,000 annual bonus points on the anniversary. You get free 4 free upgraded boardings per year if you fly Southwest. You know how valuable that is. Unlimited tier qualifying points towards status. So at every threshold, you'll keep earning points to get up towards that A-list status. And they offer the global entry and pre-check credit. So I used to have this card. I actually still have the card, but I don't use it much because I don't fly Southwest. But it was a very valuable card, when I was doing that, for sure. This is the one I have with American. It's waived for the first year. Then it's a $99 annual fee, 2 miles per dollar on any American airline purchases for your business, 2 miles per dollar on telecommunications, cable and satellite, car rentals, and gas stations, which are a lot of your major business expenses, right? And then one mile per dollar on everything else. They give you 65,000 miles right now after spending 4,000 in 4 months. They also give you that checked bag free for the cardholder and for companions. So that is a nice difference with them. And they will give you a companion certificate every year if you put $30,000 on the card. So then you get, again, a person to fly with you for $99. Okay. Now, this is not a co-branded card, but this is a general business card. The Chase Inc. business, I do have this card as well for one of my other businesses, and I use it quite frequently. $95 annual fee, so not too bad. 3 miles per dollar on shipping, internet, cable, and phone, advertising with social media sites and search engines, and any travel expenses. And then 1 mile per dollar on all other purchases. Okay. The nice thing about this card, when you redeem it, you can actually get cash back if you want. So you don't have to transfer this to a travel company. Having said that, you get the same Chase Ultimate Rewards platform. So you have the same ability to transfer these points one-to-one to your favorite partners if you choose to do that. And you can book through Chase Ultimate Rewards and still get that 25% extra value on your points. Okay. So this is a really nice, versatile business card. And it's actually one that's pretty easy to get as well. So I really like this card. I recommend it to people all the time. And their intro offer, you have to spend 8,000 in 3 months, so that's a lot, but you get 100,000 miles. So it's a pretty generous offer if you think you can hit the spending limit. Okay. And then this is one of the premier business cards. So Amex has a platinum for their business as well, $695 a year. You get 5 miles per dollar on all flights and prepaid hotels. You get 1.5 miles per dollar on key business categories, and 1 mile per dollar on all other purchases. Intro offer is 120,000 miles, but you have to spend 15,000 in 3 months. But look at all these annual business discounts. So you can get $400 back on a Dell computer every year. You get $360 on Indeed, advertising and sponsorship fees. 150 back on Adobe solutions. So things like Photoshop, Acrobat, some of these softwares that we use a lot. 120 back on your cell phones every year, and a $200 statement credit on airline tickets. You also get their lounge access. So that is a huge thing. If you only want to get one card and a business card and you want lounge access, this might be the one that you pick. You also get Gold Elite status with Hilton and Marriott with this card automatically, and you get a credit for Clear and a credit for Global Entry and TSA pre-check. You also get elite status with many of the major rental car providers. You get insurance for trip delays, cancellation, and interruption. And you get their redemption site, amextravel.com. So again, if you are just looking for a business card that has a ton of value, that comes back to you, you don't mind the annual fee because you're going to offset it with your travel and things, this is a heck of a card. And just the elite status alone will be really valuable for you. Okay, so I mentioned this at the beginning, and we're just about done. We're going to take some Q&A in a second, but shameless plug, if you go to thepointsguy.com, they are the experts on not only earning points, but also using them and getting the best value out of them. They have tons of blogs. They are constantly updating as various things change with the different cards, and they are out there traveling all the time, just to have the experience to share with everybody. So their blogs are great, and I highly, highly recommend subscribing to their site. Okay. So that's what I wanted to present to you guys. As I mentioned at the beginning, the biggest thing with these cards, I think, is figuring out where you're going to travel, how you're going to travel. If you are sticking with a brand, as I do with American Airlines and Hyatt, the co-branded cards are ways to go. I really like the premium cards because of the lounge access. Like, if I could tell you one game changer for me in the last 3 years that has changed like travel for me, it was upgrading to that executive card and getting the lounge access. Like, I can't go back because it has made flying such a more pleasant experience for me, especially when I have the kids with me and we want to just chill somewhere, get some free snacks and all that stuff. The premium cards are really, really worth it. If you are somebody who's like, I don't care who I fly with, I don't care what hotel brand I stay with, I just want to, get out there. The general cards that I shared at the beginning are really, really useful for that. But I would encourage you, if that is you, just from my travel experience, I would look at where you travel and look at how often you go and see if you can pick one. Pick an airline, pick a hotel, because to be honest, the redemptions are so much better. Like, the value I get just in getting points from them and being able to use that on flights, um, with American, I get so much value out of that every single year. So I always try to encourage people, if you can pick a brand and stick with it, it is the way to go, in my opinion. But I am going to stop screen sharing. I'm going to stop the recording really quick, and then let's take some Q&A.